All right. Well, hello and welcome to Math 21. My name is David Haywood, and I'll be your instructor for this course. If I'm looking down, it's because I printed off some things because there's a lot that I want to say, uh, and I didn't want to forget anything. So normally I don't have the camera on during lectures that I record, but I figure for this kind of welcome to the course, it might be good for you to be able to put a face to the name. So first of all, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself so that you get some sense for kind of who I am and all of that. So again, I'm David Haywood. I'm married. I have 3 kids. So I have twin girls. They're 6 years old, so they're kind of on the ends there. And then I have a 5-year-old son. This is an old picture, though. This picture was taken a couple years ago, so it's pretty outdated. I think they were 3 and 4, but they're 5 and 6 now. So those are that's my family, and then of course we have these 2 dogs. So this one is the older of the 2. He's a black pug. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, he's a black pug. We named him Vader because pugs have the breathing they have the breathing problems, and since he kind of looks like Darth Vader, anyway, so we called him Vader. And then this one over here, we got her about a year after we got him, and so we decided to name her Chewie. She's a border collie Australian Shepherd. She's a great dog. Well, they're both great, but anyway. So that's my family. You like how I spent more time talking about my dogs than my kids? No, I love my kids, love my wife, love my dogs. So, despite the fact that I named my dogs after Star Wars characters, I'm actually not as big a Star Wars fan as you might expect. I mean, I like Star Wars as much as the next person, but it's not like a huge passion or anything in my life. But so I enjoy hiking in the sequoias. I enjoy reading fantasy literature, so I am, kind of a nerd. Surprise, surprise, right? Your math teacher's a nerd. I like reading other things too, but that's kind of the genre that I gravitate toward more than anything. I enjoy doing music. I played the trombone all throughout high school, and I still pull out my trombone every now and again. I play a little bit of piano. I sing in my church choir. My brother and sister who live, my sister lives kind of out of town, but she's close, and my brother lives in town. We get together sometimes and jam a little bit, so I'll play, keyboards or bass guitar when we jam. So music. I usually bike to work when we're actually physically at school, and actually I am in my office on campus right now. It's just easier for me to get work done here, and so I enjoy biking, although I don't really do it recreationally very much. But I use it as a commuting tool, I guess. So I bike to work usually, and I've recently gotten kind of back into running, so I enjoy doing that. My wife and I do a lot of house projects, so that's something that kind of takes up a lot of my time. We bought a fixer-upper a few years ago, and we finally gotten to the point where I think we're kind of ready to take a break from house projects, but for a few years there, that was like almost all of my time was spent doing house projects. But anyway, so those are some of my interests and hobbies and some things that I spend my time on. I'm passionate about mathematics, about teaching mathematics. I think statistics is a great course, and I'm excited to teach it, to be your teacher, and I hope you have a great semester. So what I wanted to do is run through the way that this course is kind of set up in Canvas, and so I wanted to show you Canvas a little bit. So here's Canvas. When you first log into Canvas, then actually let me do this. So I'm going to leave the student view real quick and just go back to my dashboard. When you first log into Canvas, you'll come to a page that looks kind of like this. This is called your dashboard. And then if you click on our course, this is what it will look like for you. So it'll look something like this. So it'll take you to this page. This is called the home page. And you can see here at the top of the home page that I have the most recent announcements for the class. Now at this time there's only one announcement, so there's not a ton here. But as the semester progresses and as I post more announcements, the old announcements will kind of disappear from this page. So if you want to see them, you have to click on the announcements tab over here on the left hand side of the screen, and then that'll show you all of the announcements that I posted. Again, there's only one so far, but if you have an old announcement, as the semester progresses and I make more and more announcements, if you want to see an old one, then you'll have to come to this page. Now back at the home page, you'll see that I have your work split up into weekly modules, right? So I have so the first week here, week of January 11th, right? Week of 1/11. So this is all of the stuff that I expect you to complete this week, right? The week of January 11th. And if you'll just follow through these modules and work out each module in order, just go through each page one by one and just work the stuff out in order, then you'll never miss anything, right? So you don't have to worry about missing assignments or due dates or anything like that. Just work through the modules in order, and that should take care of things. So for example, if you want to submit an assignment, there are a couple ways that you could do that. One way that you could do that would be, as I said, to just click on that assignment in the module, right? And then submit it, right? Another way that you could submit an assignment would be to come over here to the left-hand side of the screen, click on the Assignments tab, and submit it from there. I think you can also submit it from the Grades tab, so you could click on that. Another thing that you could do is come over here to the little To-Do menu on the right-hand side of the screen, and then click on an assignment and submit it from there. Right? So there are a lot of ways that you can kind of submit assignments. My advice would be, again, just go through the modules. Just go through the modules, right? So it has the due date for this assignment, which, by the way, is January 11th, right? The first day of the semester. And that's because this is a special assignment that I need for you to complete today for attendance purposes. If you don't complete this assignment today, then you will be marked absent and you'll be dropped from the class. Okay, so you have to complete this assignment by the end of the day on January 11th. This quiz is going to cover the stuff in these 3 pages, so obviously you're going to need to read through and watch all of the stuff in those 3 pages before you get here. Going back to the Grades tab, so this is where you can check your grades, but it's also where you can see feedback on your submitted work. And I'll have some more information about this later on in the semester once you've submitted some stuff to me. But sometimes I make comments on your submitted work, and sometimes I actually write annotations on the actual file that you uploaded. And so I would strongly advise that when you submit something and then after I've graded it, to go into the gradebook and look for comments and annotations on the stuff that you submitted so that you're getting some feedback from me on your graded work. Again, I'll post more on that, on how to do all of that a little bit later in the course once you've had a chance to submit stuff to me. Another tab over here is the Discussions tab. Again, you'll come across discussions in the modules. Usually at the end of each module, I'll have a discussion board where you can talk with other students about that week's material and kind of work together on homework problems, things like that. You can ask me questions on the discussion board, ask me homework questions, ask me conceptual questions about the material, and I'll respond to those on the discussion board. So you can just click on those discussion boards within the module itself, but if you want to access an old discussion or something quickly, then you can click on the Discussions tab here. And then this last tab that I haven't talked about yet, Secure Exam Proctorio, you'll never need to actually click on that particular tab, so don't worry about that one. Now, this week's module, you'll notice, has a lot of stuff in it. It seems like it's a lot of stuff, but it's actually not that much. The reason that this seems longer than most other modules, right? These modules are all really short compared to this week's module, but the reason for this is because, first of all, you have all this kind of orientation stuff that I need for you to do January 11th. You need to do it January 11th. So you have this orientation stuff that you normally wouldn't have, right? But then the other thing is that all of these sections in Chapter 1 are really short sections. So there's a lot of sections here, but they're really short. Normally in a week I would expect you to do about 3 sections. So we're gonna cover usually about 3 sections a week. Here we have 5, but it's because these sections are really small, right? They're really small, really short. Let's see. So let me take you through some of these things, especially these orientation things. So starting with the syllabus. And here's the syllabus, and here's where I'll be posting this video. So there's not a video here yet, but you know, there will be. I'm currently recording it, and that's why it's not there yet. But there will be a video kind of explaining all this stuff. But here's where you can find the syllabus. So you can click on that and download it. I'll let you read through this. You do need to read this. You need to read it carefully because, again, you're going to be quizzed on this today. That's what your quiz today is going to be about, is the syllabus as well as some other things. So read through the syllabus, make sure you understand everything. But just to point out a couple of really important things. If you need to ask me if you have any questions, send me an email. Here's my email address. And if it's something where you need my help working out a problem or something, to a homework problem, then we can set up a Zoom meeting, okay? So just let me know. I'll be available Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for sure. I can also meet with you at other times if none of those times work for you. But those are the times for sure that I'll be available. So just shoot me an email, let me know when you'd like to meet, and we can set something up. This semester, now, if you've had me before online, or if you, I don't know, saw something on Rate My Professor or something that said that, you know, tests and quizzes and stuff are like open notes and all of that, well, that was true in the past, but this coming semester I'm going to be using Proctorio to proctor your exams. And there will be information about how you need to, you know, get that set up. And so I'll talk about that a little bit later on here. But the reason I mention it now is because in order to use Proctorio for your tests and quizzes, you're going to need to have a computer with a webcam. So a cell phone won't work for Proctorio, neither will a tablet, right? So cell phones and tablets, as nice as tablets are to like take notes on and stuff, it's not going to work for your tests and quizzes in this class. You're going to need a computer with a webcam. And consistent internet access as well. So now the good news is that if you don't have those things, you can check them out from COS, from the library. So just click on this link and it'll take you to where you need to go in order to check out a laptop and a Wi-Fi hotspot from COS. Okay, but you will need a computer. And consistent internet access, right? So you'll need a computer with a webcam in order to do tests and quizzes. As far as quizzes are concerned, you're gonna need you're gonna take a quiz every week. And actually, this is easier to see in the modules, but you'll have a weekly quiz. The first day of each week, I'll post a quiz, and it's due at the end of that first day of each week. Okay. So if we have a Monday holiday, then your quizzes are going to be due at the end of the day Tuesday. Otherwise, right, they're going to be due at the end of the day on Monday. So you have quizzes every week, but your homework is not due every week, okay? Your homework, if you scroll down, you can see the due dates for your homework assignments. I'm only going to collect homework from you 3 times. Currently in Canvas, there's not going to be a place for you to submit your homework because we're nowhere near the due date, okay? You won't get a place to submit your homework until, and I just realized I could have zoomed in here so you can see a little better. But you won't get an assignment to submit your homework until probably a week before it's due. All right. So your first due date for the first unit of homework is Thursday, February 18th. You're not going to get a link to submit that homework until probably the week before that. Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be staying on top of your homework because you do have the weekly quizzes, and the weekly quizzes cover the material from the previous week. So if you're not staying on top of your homework, you're going to fail all of your quizzes, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about this here in a second, but I just wanted to point out, right, don't freak out about the homework. It's not due until February 18th, okay? But you do need to stay on top of it, right? Just don't worry about submitting it just yet. Those are the main things that I wanted to point out. Textbook material, right? Information about that will be on the next couple of pages. But this is the textbook we'll be using. We'll also be using a statistical software called StatCrunch. You have to get StatCrunch. Students sometimes try to get through the course without getting StatCrunch, and it never ends well for them. There will be stuff towards the end of the course that you literally cannot do by hand. You have to have StatCrunch, so get StatCrunch. And get the textbook as well. Get the textbook today, because you're going to have homework, right? Starting this week. So you need to get the textbook. If you don't have money to pay for the textbook right now, that's okay. You can get 2 weeks of temporary access for free. All right. So get the textbook now. Here's my grading kind of policy. You'll have 3 tests. Again, the due dates for the tests are listed here. Okay. And you'll also have a project. So you have a project. It's worth 10% of your grade, but details about that I'll post details about that later on in the semester. Basically, it's going to be like a little mini science fair type of thing, little science fair project for you to do. So that's all I want to say really about the syllabus. But again, make sure you read through it carefully. Okay. Then this next page will tell you how to get the textbook and how to use it to do the homework. So I'll let you watch that video. This video is an old one. It's one that I made over the summer 2020. Some of the information is a little different. The way that Canvas looks is a little different. But for the most part, the information is good, right? The information will tell you how to get the textbook and how to get StatCrunch, okay? And then just one thing to be aware of is that the course ID that I use in this video is different than the course ID you're going to use to sign up. So this is the course ID you should use to sign up for to get the textbook. Textbook will cost you about $80, and this is something that I actually don't mention in this video, is that there's 2 options for buying the textbook. One is to get like a 12-month subscription, and the other is to get a 6-month subscription. You only need the textbook for this semester unless you think you're going to fail, which hopefully you don't go into the course thinking you're going to fail, right? So my opinion would be, get the 6-month subscription. It's cheaper. Again, it costs about $80. That'll get you the textbook and StatCrunch. So that's my suggestion, is that you do that. And then the following page is all about how to fill out tests and quizzes. When I post a test on Canvas, I'm going to post it as a PDF, okay? And my preference would be for you to print that off, work out your solutions on the printed page, and then scan that back into your computer. Now I realize that some of you may not have a printer, okay? So if you don't have a printer, then I will allow you to work out your solutions on a separate sheet of notebook paper, but then make sure that you space it out the way that it's spaced out on the test. And make sure that what you submit has the same number of pages as the test that I submitted, and that it's spaced out the way that I spaced it out on the test. This just makes it a lot easier for me to grade, and it gives me room to write on your test and stuff, so please just do that. I have some examples here of things that you can look at, things that would be appropriate and things that are not. Anyway, you can read through this. So it shows you how to scan something if you don't have a scanner, because whether or not you're printing off the test, you will need to scan your solutions and upload them back onto Canvas. So if you don't have a scanner, don't just take a picture with your cell phone. Download a scanner app on your phone. Okay, the reason for that is because it's almost impossible for you to get a picture that captures the entire page and only the page. And also, picture files are really big. So a scan is much better. I recommend the Adobe Scan app. This video shows you how to download it, how to use it. So it's a really good app. And then this is a video that shows you how to submit assignments on Canvas, right, in case you need to do that. Okay. And then the next thing is the quiz, right? The quiz that you need to complete on January 11th. It's locked right now because it's not going to open up until January 11th at 12 a.m. and then it's due on January 11th at 11:59 p.m., right? So you have all day to complete it, but you do need to complete it on January 11th. That one, for that particular quiz, I'm not going to be using Proctorio, so don't worry if you don't have a laptop just yet, right? But get your hands on a laptop or a desktop with a webcam as soon as possible so that you can use Proctorio on your quizzes in the future. But for this particular quiz, don't worry about it. I don't have Proctorio enabled for this particular quiz. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about, and this is something that you don't necessarily have to do on Monday, but you do need to do it soon. You need to get Proctorio set up, and here's a little step-by-step guide of what you need to do. It's not complicated. Basically, you need to make sure that you're using Chrome as your web browser, not Firefox or Internet Explorer or Safari. You need to use Chrome as your web browser, and then you need to download an extension. You need to download the Proctorio extension on your Chrome browser. Again, these step-by-step directions will show you exactly how to set up Proctorio. And then, of course, you need to have your laptop, right? You need to have your computer situation all figured out. Once you have that done, then I'm going to have you take another quiz. And this will be a Proctorio trial run. So this quiz will just be, it's just like an easy, like, what's 2 plus 2, you know, type of thing. Or like write your first name on the front and your last name on the back or something like that. But the purpose of it is just to see if you've got Proctorio up and running. Now for this quiz, I'm giving you more time to get it done, right? So it's due on January 20th, okay? So if you're watching this video on January 11th, then that means you have 10 days to get a laptop and get, Proctorio all set up for Canvas, okay? That quiz, so even though I've posted it here in week of 111, since it's not due until the 20th, I also put that same quiz in this week's, where did I put it? Oh, maybe I removed it. But I'll put it, since it's due on the 20th, I'll put it here in the week of 118 module as well, so that you're kind of reminded of that due date. And then, so this first quiz, you don't have to worry about Proctorio. The second quiz, you don't have to worry about Proctorio. But starting on this third quiz, Monday, January 25th, you will need to have Proctorio for that. So you'll need a laptop for that with a webcam, and you'll need to have Proctorio set up and ready to go by January 25th for that quiz. And then every quiz and test after that is going to be in Proctorio through Canvas. Okay. Now, one last thing. I know I've been talking now for 23 minutes. Okay, but let me just say one last thing by way of orientation. So, as far as day-to-day stuff is concerned, here's how I would recommend that you go through the course, okay? So, again, this first week is kind of strange, but on a typical week, right, like the week of 118, by the way, it's Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so your quiz isn't due until Tuesday on this week, right? But usually you'd have a quiz on Monday, so maybe even week 3 would be even better, right? So on a typical week, your module is going to look something like this, okay? The first thing is to take a quiz. Now, before you take, that quiz is due on Monday, right? Now, before you take that quiz on Monday, my advice would be take some time, review your notes, go through the discussion board from the previous week's material to see, if you posted questions there, to make sure that I've answered them, right? Do all that stuff before you take the quiz, right? Just spend a little bit of time reviewing. So read through the notes, check the discussion boards, go back through your homework problems, make sure you understand everything, and then take the quiz, right? And that's what you're going to do on Monday, right? The first day of each week. From there, the rest of the materials really kind of go at your own pace. But notice, when you open up one of these lectures, I have a set of notes, typed up notes, and then there will be some blanks here and there that you'll fill in as you watch the lecture video. So you watch the video, you fill in the blanks as you go. So I would strongly recommend that you print these notes off so that you can just fill them out as you go through and watch the video. And then you'll have a really nice set of notes for this class. It'll be really hard for you to go wrong because you'll have just such great notes for the class that way. So that's my suggestion there. And then the other thing that I would say is that I wouldn't, if I were you, I would not just sit there and watch all of the lectures for the week and then go back and try to do the homework. Instead, what I would do is I would watch the lecture and I would print off these notes. Okay, or if you have a tablet, you can just download the notes and then write on them with your tablet. But I would go through the lecture, fill out all these blanks, and then at the end of the notes, at the bottom of the last page of the notes, you'll have a homework assignment. These are problems out of the textbook that you're supposed to do. Okay, I would do that homework assignment before moving on to 3.2, right? Because like most math courses, the material builds on itself. So you're going to have a much better time in 3.2 if you have a thorough understanding of 3.1 first. So watch the lecture for 3.1, fill out the notes, then do the 3.1 homework, and then move on to 3.2. That would be my suggestion. Now, you'll notice that some of the lectures are longer than others. Some of the modules have 2 lectures, some of them have 4, most of them will probably have 3 lectures usually. My advice would be just kind of look at how long each of the lecture videos are so that you can kind of pace yourself out and figure out, oh, okay, so I'll watch this lecture on Tuesday and these 2 lectures on Wednesday and then this lecture on Thursday or whatever, right? But pace yourself. You also have all weekend, right, to work if you need to. The other thing that I'll mention, and then I think I'm done, is that so far I've only posted the first module. So I've only posted the material up until test 1, which is on February 22nd. That's all of the material that I've posted so far. So I will be posting more modules as the semester progresses and as I kind of finish putting the modules together. But so far I just have Unit 1. There's going to be 3 kind of big units in the semester, and I've only got Unit 1 posted so far. But that's that. That's all I have to say. Hopefully that's helpful to you. And again, I hope we have a great semester. So I'm excited. Statistics is a great course.